Hey guys, what's going on? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will cut you right into the actual intro that I shot in my kitchen, but for now, I thought that I would say hello, see how you're doing, see how your week is going. I hope it's going as well as it should, especially now if you're in Canada. You've got a ton of snow, so we need to celebrate that. And hopefully you have your winter tires on. So in today's video, we are talking about intentionality, and we're going to be bringing that same intentionality into the kitchen. And you're probably not going to be enjoying this video because of my excellent cooking skills, although I still make a mean curry. But I think you're going to enjoy it because once you make the recipe or you make something similar to it, you'll make your own version of it. I think that you will think differently about the foods that you are preparing for your family. And this is exactly what I wanted to talk to you about today, that I thought that was so important, where we're not just talking about the foods that we're preparing, we're talking about how we're managing that food and the intention that goes into preparing the meals that we are preparing. And that goes a little bit deeper than just picking out the best ingredients and using the best techniques to prepare that food. We're going to be practicing that practice with cooking and also taking that into our dinner table. So I wanted to bring you into my world a little bit. I am going to be cooking from a book called Cook with Intention, and I picked a very simple recipe, but I walk you through sort of how to create the recipe, but more importantly, an intention that sort of goes with it. Our intention behind it is I release everything that is not serving me. And if you think about the intention that it gives you, then you can also sort of start to connect the dots as to why that goes with the recipe that I've chosen. So I've chosen a veggie curry recipe, which I have made a few times with our family, and everybody seems to love it. So I thought that it's simple enough and it's easy enough for you to create it if you ever wanted to create just a simple curry recipe. But the main reason why I wanted to create it is because most of the time, whenever we're cooking, I find that it becomes a mindless activity. And I think that with this series that I'm creating here, we're going to be making some basic recipes, but we're going to do that with intention. And I wanted to really show you what that truly looks like, because the more you can stay present and the more you can stay with the moment and the more you can create a positive vibration and create a positive intention behind why you're doing what you're doing, then it just shifts. Everything will just shift. And so while I will walk you through the recipe of how to create the meal step by step, but what I want you to pay more attention to is not so much the recipe, but the intention that we're creating and why. Our intention is going to, it encompasses letting go and understanding when it is the right time for us to let go. How would you know when it's the right time to let go? Would you actually feel it? Because if you tune into your body will always tell you what are the things that are not serving you and when is it time to let those things go and leave them in the past, so that you can create space for something new to come in that can serve you to its highest potential. And while we're creating that just with a basic recipe today, I think that the underlying lesson here is something way more important, because then once you understand how this practice works, then you can apply that to other areas of your life, and you can recognize much faster what are the things that are not serving you, so that you can work through letting them go. New to this channel, I post here now 3 times a week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I talk to you about eco-living, about reducing your waste consumption, about green beauty, and how to incorporate mindfulness practices into your everyday life. We do a little bit of cooking, a little bit of bullet journaling. So because we kind of dive into a few different topics, I wanted to make it a little bit easier for my YouTube community to sort of follow up and know exactly what's going to be coming up. So I created a weekly roundup email that I send out to my email community. It's completely exclusive, and I created that so that you get the best takeaways from each of my videos, and I link the videos in there if you wanted to take a look at them in case you missed it. But I give you the best takeaways from there, any exclusive offers if there are any, if I'm releasing any online content or any online products and services that you may be interested in, then the discounts or any discounts that I may offer, it will be offered to my email community. So I wanted you to be able to get in on that. It's completely complimentary, it's completely free. I wanted to do that so that it makes your life a little bit easier. And I also give you the full-blown schedule of what's going to be coming up for the following week. So if you wanted to sign up for that, I left the link down in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the video. So let's jump over to the kitchen and we can get started with cooking. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with the recipe. First, I'm actually going to prepare my rice. So I am using jasmine organic rice. So I have 1 cup of rice here measured out. So I'll just dump that with 2 cups of water. And I'm just going to be setting this up in my rice cooker. And we'll add a little bit of, I'll add just like a little bit of pink salt. And I usually add just a dash of olive oil. And then you can actually just stir it up a little bit. We'll set this guy up for about half an hour, like I think it's about 30-35 minutes, so that by the time our curry is finished, then this guy is going to be ready to go. And then we can either have just rice or you can mix it with some quinoa, and we'll give people the option. I didn't actually prep my veggies first because honestly, if you ever watched a Rachel Ray show, she would always just kind of gather all of her ingredients, and then after that we would get started with the actual cooking process. So the first thing that I'm going to do, the first thing that you will need is an onion. So let's go ahead and get this guy diced up. I don't know about you, but for the longest time, whenever I would watch all of these cooking shows, I was always obsessed with them. I was obsessed. And I would get such satisfaction out of just watching all of these chefs and cooks, you know, the way that they would peel an onion or just get rid of, you know, all of the discarding everything. It was just always so much fun to watch them. Another thing that really helps whenever you're dicing an onion is that you don't stand completely over it, like you stand a little bit further away. And then that way all the juices and like the gases, they can kind of not go into your eye. So I'm just going to grab, so while I'm waiting, I'm just going to start heating up. We're just going to get started with heating up this pan. This is as good as it's gonna get today. And then we're going to grab a little bit of oil. We need 1 clove of garlic, and we will also need some ginger in a second. So what you can do is basically just take your knife and just smash it. We want to make sure that our garlic is finely chopped. Okay, so we're going to take a piece of ginger. I usually just kind of like to take like, I don't know, about an inch piece. Grab like a smaller knife and then we can just get it peeled. See, this is when having a bowl just for your compost and your garbage is perfect. I make it sound like I'm making the most complicated recipe ever. I'm not. Sometimes it's about the simple things, you know? It's not how complicated you make it. Sometimes it's just about staying present and enjoying the process and remembering why you loved it in the first place. And I feel like, you know, we need reminders like that all the time because we forget. We get so busy and get caught up with just crap that doesn't actually matter that much, you know? And then when you check on your onions, just make sure that you keep stirring it. And then when you see that it's getting a little bit see-through, a little bit caramelized, that's usually when you want to start adding. You want to make sure that you turn it down because this is sort of when like you can burn it quite quickly. Now that we have put in our onion and our garlic and it has sauteed a little bit, now it's actually time to add all of our spices and our ginger in as well. So I'm going to just put this in. Trust me, it'll be a lot easier. So you will need, obviously, a measuring spoon. Let's just zoom out. And I will walk you through some of the spices that I'm going to be using. I'm not actually using all of the spices that this recipe requires because it has cayenne pepper, and like my family does not eat cayenne pepper, so with young kids you might want to skip that. Okay, so you will need 1 tablespoon of curry powder. I swear to you, this is like every single cooking show dream coming true. Then you're going to take, now we're switching over to teaspoons, so we're going to need 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. And we're going to take 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. And we will take 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric. Can we get over the color, by the way? One tip that I have for you that I really love is that when you're finished with whatever spices or whatever you're working with at that given time, I usually just start putting it away right away. And I do that with pots and pans as well. Like once I'm done with them, I usually end up just cleaning them right away. And then you don't really have much of a cleanup at the end. So we're going to take our spices. And you're going to take your spices and dump them in. Okay, so with your spices, while they are like just getting a little bit heated through, we're actually going to take 2 carrots and we're going to get them chopped up and peeled. And we'll take our broccoli and our cauliflower so we can get them ready. And we're going to be adding them into our curry. By the way, if you wanted to make this a chicken curry, you can totally add some chicken. I didn't, but because it's a vegetarian curry, but if you wanted to, you totally could. Once we have added all of our ingredients, I will just take a cup of water and I'll add just a small spoonful of the Better Than Bouillon vegetable base. Kind of stir it in. And we're going to add this to our curry. So we're going to take, look how thick this is. Isn't that awesome? And you just want to kind of work them away, but when you get organic coconut milk in a can, you can actually use it to like thicken up stews, and you can use them to just make everything super creamy. Look how beautiful that's coming together. And then we're just going to let this simmer for a few minutes so that everything kind of cooks through. So I'll just add a lid and then we'll be right back. When you're down to the last couple of minutes and you see that everything is boiling, this would be the time that you can add your snap snow peas. I'm not going to do that because my kids actually don't like it cooked, so I'm kind of skipping that ingredient. But the last couple of minutes would be the time that you can add that in. You also want to make sure that you're adding, you're seasoning it with salt and pepper accordingly to whatever your liking is. And then now it's time to turn off the heat and we can serve. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you had as much fun creating this recipe as I have. And one question for you, let me know in the comment section below, what is one thing that you are ready to let go of, if anything? And how will you know when is the right time for you? So comment below and let me know. And in the meantime, if you're brand new here, then please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will be creating more videos just like this one where we get to cook together, talk a little bit about mindfulness practices, just so that we can start applying it to our own lives. And you can give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. You can also subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notifications whenever I release a new video. And you can also, this is something brand new that I started doing in the last little bit, just to help you guys out. Each week, you can also sign up for my weekly recap email that I send out to my email community. And basically, it's a weekly roundup of some of the best takeaways from my videos. And I give you any behind the scene footage, if there are any bloopers. But also, this is also the place where I offer any exclusive offers. And this will be the place that I will also be offering any discounts or early bird specials for any online services that I will be releasing in the future. So if you wanted to get on that and you wanted to see what the schedule is for the following week, then you can sign up for that for completely free, completely complimentary. And I left the link down in the description so you can sign up for it. And in the meanwhile, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and keep seeking wellness seekers, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.
And take 5062. Here we go. I love how I'm going to have 1,000,000 cuts today because of this. Awesome. I don't know, Sophie. He's upstairs. He's walking right now. He's gone. Okay.